Hey, what is up internet? Welcome to the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 60's camera comparison. And I know this might sound like an irrelevant video for a lot of you out there, but I wanted to make this video especially for the OnePlus 60 users who, just like me, thought they were cheated when OnePlus launched the OnePlus 7 at a similar price point back in May 2019. So I wanted to have a look at the pictures taken from the OnePlus 7 and on the OnePlus 60 and see if the OnePlus 7's camera is all that better than the OnePlus 60's, or are they very similar, or we might be in for a surprise that the 60's camera might outperform the OnePlus 7's camera. So let's get started as I pixel peep the pictures taken from the OnePlus 7 and the OnePlus 60. Now before we go on to the pictures, let's get the specifications aside. So the OnePlus 7 comes with a 48 megapixels primary camera with Sony's IMX586 sensor at f1.7 aperture, which is also optically image stabilized. And there's also a 5 megapixels depth sensor at f2.4 aperture. The OnePlus 60 on the other hand comes with a 60 megapixels primary camera with Sony's IMX519 sensor at f1.7 aperture and OIS, along with a 20 megapixels secondary camera at f1.7 aperture again. Both the phones come with a 16 megapixels front camera at f2.0 aperture. So these were the specifications, and now let's move to the actual camera comparison. As always, starting with some daylight shots, you will immediately notice that pictures taken from the OnePlus 7 are slightly warmer than the OnePlus 60. OnePlus 7 tends to saturate just a little more than the 60, and also there is more detail in pictures from the OnePlus 7 thanks to that higher 48 megapixels primary camera sensor. In terms of dynamic range, however, both the phones are very similar and they do a pretty good job in my opinion. If you move to macro shots, I felt that the OnePlus 60 pictures are just a tad bit overexposed while the 7 keeps the exposure well balanced. This could be because of a more aggressive HDR on the 60, and also the level of detail on the OnePlus 7 pictures is just better, again thanks to the higher megapixels primary camera. Overall, in broad daylight, the OnePlus 60 tends to stick to natural colors while the 7 puts in more vibrant colors. Although this is not consistent, as there were shots where OnePlus 60 photos were warmer. Now, increasing the saturation in post-processing make photos look better to the eyes, and I have no complaints with this tactic, as most of the people out there only click photos from their phones for social media in my opinion. But if you are someone who likes their photos to be more natural in colors, the OnePlus 60 will do a better job. Alright, let's move to some indoor shots, and I would like to mention here is that I didn't have the OnePlus 7 for a long time, so I could only manage to click a limited number of low light shots from the OnePlus 7, so never mind. So if you move indoors, things take a full 360-degree turn. In artificial lighting, the OnePlus 60 pictures are actually warmer and has more color to it than the OnePlus 7, and honestly I would pick the OnePlus 60 in 9 out of 10 times when shooting indoors. But if you zoom in, you would notice that pictures taken from the OnePlus 60 brings in quite a bit of noise while the 7 remains solid. This is again where the higher megapixel count on the OnePlus 7 pays off. I also took some portrait shots indoors, and you can clearly see OnePlus 7 does a better job in this department. Not only is the exposure level well balanced on the OnePlus 7 pictures, but even the so-called bokeh effect or background blur is a bit better on the OnePlus 7. While you move outside to take a portrait shot, pictures are almost identical, although in this particular shot the OnePlus 7 struggled a little bit in the edge detection, but this is not the case always. When it comes to selfies, both the phones did a very good job, but they share the same characteristics as the rear cameras. A slightly more aggressive HDR on the 60 while slightly warmer colors on the 7. But both the phones indeed do a great job. And if we talk about selfies in low light and artificial lighting, I think OnePlus 7 again does a better job at color reproduction and sharpness. And you must have noticed the trend here. If you shoot a lot of photos outdoors, both the OnePlus 60 and 7 come really close and do a really good job in my opinion. But if you move to slightly low light conditions or are indoors taking a lot of shots, the OnePlus 7 will do a better job in almost all the photos. Okay, so let me quickly play some video shots I recorded with the OnePlus 7 and 60 to give you an idea about how they stack up against each other in the video department. So this part of the video is being shot with OnePlus 60 in 4K at 60 fps. The OnePlus 60 can also shoot in 30 and 60 and 240 fps in 1080p, and you can have an idea about the audio capture and the video stabilization as I'm walking right now. So let me know what do you guys think in the comment section below. So this part of the video is being shot with OnePlus 7, and the OnePlus 7 can also shoot in 4K at 60 fps and in 1080p at 30, 60 and 240 fps, and both the OnePlus 60 and OnePlus 7 can also shoot in 720p at 480 fps slow motion. So you can again have an idea about the audio capture and the stabilization. So now this part of the video is being shot with the OnePlus 60's front camera, which is at 16 megapixels. Just like the OnePlus 7, the OnePlus 60 can also shoot in 1080p at 30 fps with the front camera. Again, let me know what you guys think about the audio capture and the video stabilization. So this part of the video is being shot with the front camera of the OnePlus 7. So the OnePlus 7 can only shoot in 1080p and only in 30 fps with the front camera, and I'm again walking right now, so you can have an idea about the audio capture and the video stabilization. Alright, so this was it. This was my quick camera comparison of the OnePlus 7 and OnePlus 60's cameras, and honestly, if I have to pick the winner, I will obviously go with the OnePlus 7, mainly because of the more detail we find on the pictures taken from the OnePlus 7 and a better low light photography. But I don't think the OnePlus 60's camera is all that much behind, and especially when we take a lot of photos in broad daylight, I don't think the OnePlus 60's cameras is all that bad. But when we come to the video department, I think the OnePlus 7 did a much better job, especially in terms of audio capture and stabilization, and especially when we take videos from the front camera. So I think in that department, OnePlus 7 was a lot better. So yes guys, let me know what do you guys think about the two cameras I tested. I know this is just my opinion, so I'm very curious to know what do you guys think, and especially if you are a OnePlus 60 users, what do you think? Is the OnePlus 7's camera all lot better than the OnePlus 60? Let me know. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to TQnet so that I keep on making such videos for you guys in future as well, and especially press that bell icon so that you get notified whenever I upload my next video. So till then, keep asking and I'll see you in the next one.
Hey.